Hey, welcome to class. Whenever you write an application, any application, you write a lot of code in order to implement a feature or a functionality. And there are times where you really need to know what is happening inside your code. The easiest way to do that is to print some messages. If you are a seasoned Android developer, you might have been already exposed to frameworks such as Logback, Log4j, Commons logging, etc. And if you're a newbie Android developer, you might have a question: why not use system.out.println? That's a really nice question. You can indeed use system.out.println to print messages, but this approach has certain drawbacks. When you use system.out.println, first, there are no levels. For example, I have a message that says internal server error, and I also have a message that says user clicked on this search button. Clearly, these two messages have different weightages or different priorities, and system.out.println does not allow you to specify priorities in your messages. And second, there is no source information of the message. You don't know where the message is coming from. If you need that information, you have to explicitly specify that in your message also. And third, you have printed a ton of messages using the println method. And at the end of the day, you don't have a mechanism to filter those messages. For example, you may want to filter those messages based on the module they were printed from, or you may want to filter error level messages or debug level messages or information level messages. So there are no direct ways to do that when you're using system.out.println. So to make the process really easier, the Android engineers have devised the Android logging system. So from the developer's point of view, the Android logging system has two components which we will be using most commonly. The first one is the log class. This is the log class that allows you to log your messages. It has 5 logging levels: verbose, debug, info, warn, and error. These levels are in ascending order of priority. The Android SDK comes with a tool called as the Logcat. The Logcat has very good filtering mechanisms that allow you to filter your messages based on the source where they are coming from or based on their logging level priority. And you can also use regular expressions to filter logs using the Logcat tool. We have 5 logging levels. Now the question is, when should I use a particular logging level? When something goes terribly wrong and your application cannot continue executing, that messages should be logged using the error level. The Android system logs uncaught exceptions and the serious system errors using this level, and you should also do the same. If you are encountering a state where there is something wrong but your application can continue executing, you can use the warning level message. And information level messages are used for business processes. That is, when an entire business process is complete. For example, if a user successfully logs into a system, or if a user successfully creates a new user account, in that situation you have to use log those messages using the info level. And debug level is used to log messages that are helpful during the development phase. And debug level messages should not show up in a production application. Ideal candidates for debug level logging would be input method parameters and return values. And finally, we have the verbose level. Sometimes when you are developing a feature, you need to print messages which you will remove when the feature gets completed. So those kind of messages can be logged using the verbose level. And it is very important that the debug and verbose level messages do not show up in the production application. Also, in order to identify the severity of a message, Logcat logs them with different colors. These are the same colors that you will be seeing on Logcat as well. That is, if you're logging a message using the error level, it will be in red. If you are logging a message using information, it will be in green, and debug level messages will appear blue. We have seen this in theory, and I'll show you how to use them in your Android project. Time for some code. What I have here is a very simple Android project. We don't have enough code to use the log levels appropriately, so I'll show you how to use a log statement instead of the system.out.println. On onCreate method, I'm going to type in log dot, and you specify the log level using methods that start with the first letter of the log level. For instance, if you want to log an error message, you do log.e, and in case of a debug message, we do a log.d. In case of a information method, we do a log.i, and log.v for verbose, log.w for warning. So we're going to use a log.v method here. And the next thing you see here is a tag parameter. The tag parameter is used to identify the source of the log. The best way to deal with the tag is to declare a constant for it. Since we know this log message is being printed from the hello world activity, we could declare a static final variable named log tag. We'll be using this log tag, the log tag static final variable, in all these statements within this class. So I'm going to replace this log with a log tag constant, and I'm going to specify a message. There it goes. We are ready to run the application, so I'm going to click on run. I'm going to run this as an Android application. Once the application launches, let's go ahead and open the logcat tool. If you have already arranged your Eclipse workspace like mine by following the previous video, you could find the logcat tool here. And if you don't find it here, go to Window and Show View, go to Other, and here you can see the logcat. There are two versions, the older one which is deprecated and which is not used currently. This is the updated logcat. Select this and click on OK. So your logcat will show up. As you can see, the logcat displays logs from all the applications that are running in on your emulator or your device, and we have several columns. The first one is the level column, which specifies the severity of the message. It could be any of the 5, like error, warning, information, debug, or verbose. And you have these timestamps so that you can find out when the event was logged. You have the process ID and the thread ID, followed by the application name. The Android application name is the package name given to your application. And tag. Tag is the source of the log. In our case, our log tag is hello world, so we should see hello world here. And the text is the one that is being logged. You can also see when there are error messages. Stack traces will also get logged to this area with the highest priority. The left pane is the filter pane, where you can create filters for your application. As you can see, the current logging console is completely cluttered with log messages from other applications as well. So in order to create a filter or for your application, you can create one from here. Also, if you want to filter your messages, you can use this search box and filter your application logs. In our case, we are going to use the prefix tag column and the tag of our log, tag of our application, hello world. So here are the two verbose messages we have printed already. Followed by the search box or the filter box is the log level drop down, where you can select which level of log messages must be displayed. The save button allows you to save your log to an external text file and the clear log button clears all the messages from your log. This is used to show or hide your saved filters. When I click on it, you can see the difference. You can either hide or show the saved filters. And the scroll log, when enabled, scrolls to the most recent log on the console. This is how you use the Logcat tool bundled along with your Eclipse ADT plugin. So in this video, we saw the difference between using a system.out.println and a log. Log is definitely the way to go. Also, we saw the different log levels which are available in Android. And finally, I showed you how to use the log method from your Java code and view the log from your Logcat. That's about it. Thank you. Hey, welcome to the drill. You will be building a simple interest calculator. This drill is designed to give you the opportunity to practice the concepts you have learned in the previous lectures. These are the list of concepts we will be testing. Go through them, and if you are not sure about any of the concept, go back to the lecture and take a second look at it before proceeding. Here is what I want you to do. There is a project template that is available for download along with this lecture, which you will be using as the starting point. Also, this presentation is available for download as a PDF document, and just follow the instructions. This is the mockup of the simple interest calculator that you will be building. The specifications are written all over the screen. Take a look at them, and when you are done, import the project template into your Eclipse workspace. Use the graphical layout editor to drag and drop the view components, assign IDs when and wherever necessary, and reference those views from your Java code, set up some listeners, write some logic to make it functional. To make sure that you have done it right, I have some sample input and output values that you can use for testing, and if you are getting them right, then you are done. If you are a newbie Java developer, here are some tips that might help you during the development, and also if you have any questions, feel free to ask. All the best.